Hello. Hello, miss. Hello, Rock. How are we? Are we well? I realise my microphone is leaning up against my desk. I will mute it while I move the thing, otherwise it'll make lots of noise. What a start. Hello. How you doing, miss? I hear you've been adulting today. Which sounds worse than it is. Been doing good. Good. You're fed up of being an adult today. That's fair. In the evenings, you can stop. You know, you guys got to do the little things. Little things in life to remind yourself that you're not always an adult. Like, you know, I don't know when I'm next going to walk past a mirror and not put a stupid face, but whenever that is, it's going to be a sad day. You have 2 emails you need to do and you're ignoring them until you've had food. Food! Food's important. Food is the fuel for emails. You cannot possibly be expected to answer emails without the necessary fuel. Yeah. Marvellous. I'm also procrastinating from adulting, because I was going to put up commission details today, but I realised there was a bunch of other stuff that I should probably explain when it comes to setting up commissions, so I've spent a bit of the day doing that instead. Tomorrow, probably. We'll see. I need to do it at some point. I need money. Yeah. Procrastination is also a big part of being an adult. It is. The difference between children don't procrastinate. They just busy themselves doing other things. They don't know the concept of procrastination. They're just like, oh, now my focus is entirely on this, and it's much more interesting. Can't procrastinate if you're a child because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Speaking of procrastination, been 2.5 minutes. We haven't started stream yet. Well, we have. Having a chit chat. 16 symbols. This is the thing we're doing with a story that's gotten out of hand, but is almost over. You'll be hopping in and out as you finish cooking. Wonderful. Okay. So, what are you cooking, by the way? I was about to say I hope it's something nice, but that kind of goes without saying. It'd be weird if I hoped it was horrible. Which is not the opposite, of course, but anyway. Okay, so last time, the story so far. Generally speaking, this is a fantasy world. Hi, Chib. Amazing meal of sausages, beans, and chips. So that is my childhood. Sausage, beans, and chips. Nothing wrong with sausage, beans, and chips. How you doing, Chip? You alright? You've been drawing good arts, and more up-to-date references for me to use for when I draw your character. Wonderful art. I don't even know who one of the characters is, and it's still wonderful. Good. You've only been drawing Phoebe today. Wonderful. I spent a bit of the morning drawing Vive, and then the rest of the day watching myself play Call of Cthulhu. God, the end of that game's bad. But I've timestamped all the VODs now, so we should be on the home straight to finishing the next highlight video. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. I've been getting ready some of the more complicated pictures for next month. If anyone doesn't know, next month I'm doing a thing where I take people's characters and draw them in a randomly generated style. And some of the styles are going to take more than a day to do, so I'm preparing the sort of bulk of the work in advance for ones that are really, really complicated. And yesterday I did Evie, which is one of Mrs. characters, and I think I'm going to be really pleased with how it comes out, and I hope Mrs. also really likes how it comes out. But I spent quite a long time on it, and then realised afterwards when I was trying to find sort of the source of the references I was using for the thing, that the references I was using were not in fact concept art for the thing that I was basing it on, but was just fan art. So I've basically drawn it in the style of a fan of the thing. But it looks nice, so... That's cool, but also, oh no. Laureus is a nervous satire... Is it satire? Satire? Who developed a tiny crush on Phoebe in an earlier part of the campaign. Oh. Bless. Hi, Kiro! Hello. How are you? It's fine Tuesday. I've also drawn. I also did the basis of the drawing for Hortense, which is not entirely sure it's accurate because I've only seen one sketch of the character, but it looks good. I'm happy with it. I'm pleased with all of the ones I've started so far. We'll see how the rest of them go. But hope you like them. How long have we got till it is actually? It's 10 days or so. That's fine. That'll be fine. It was only there for like 2 sessions or something, but you still kind of ship them. Oh, they can meet up again. It's fine. Depending on what happened to them. Yeah. Stuff. 16 symbols. That's the thing. So this is a magical fantasy world with magical fantasy creatures, but that magic that makes them fantastical came from the annihilation of the big magical beings, the cosmic shrimp and the hippo goddess. And the acolytes of said shrimp god are attempting to reclaim that magic to reinvigorate and revive shrimp god. And the last time we encountered things in this story, by which I mean last week, a machine was activated. This is the machine. The machine. This was activated by Poison Nurse and Cat-Pitalist, who I realise I'd never actually drawn before, and I drew this, which doesn't look anything like them, but that's what I drew. And they activated it in order to suppress a robot uprising, workers' rights and all that. Because robots powered by arcane energies, which can be withdrawn by this machine. However, evil Poison Nurse hasn't explained their full plan, which is presumably to activate the whole thing, get rid of all of the magical energy in the world and absorb it into Shrimp God for whatever reason Poison Nurse wants to do that for. Still not entirely sure. Meanwhile, outside during the robot protest, we are told that we have some information. The information belongs to this little friend, Orbit, I believe is the name we came up with. And they're about to tell us something really, really important, and then the machine gets turned on, and all of the robots stop functioning. As well as, you know, several of our characters, like Jethro, the Scarecrow, and Brambles, the Jerboa. You're about to head out and get a couple of groceries. Ooh. So I might be AFK for a bit, but we'll keep listening. Hope you're doing alright. I hope you have a lovely AFK. Also, hi Dark. How you doing? How was Phoenix Point? And Wick, yes. Wick is just a candle now. Wick is just a candle in a little coat. Does Gil also break? Gil broke before. Which is why he's being carried by Brad here. Gil broke on the side of a mountain, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there he is. So yeah, everything just returns to the form that it would be if it weren't magical. Do you not like the pretend robot man? I have yet to catch up with the VODs, it must be said, but I understand from what you put in chat that you got quite angry. Yeah. So after that, we were given look at Flo. I am just a frog now. Let me go. And now Loaf is just a regular puppy. Yeah. Which is probably like the least dramatic change, right? Because I imagine Loaf still, like, you know, wants to be around Brad. Just like it's a puppy rather than like a really close bond puppy. Just puppy. Colin. Colin is just a lump of coal now. Still not entirely sure Colin was anything else, but they definitely are now. Colin changed the least. That's true. That is true. There's much swearing and questioning of why the AI is so dumb. Lovely. Yeah, but we were given a floppy disk. Which... Oh yeah, I forgot to... I need to update the symbols on the side of the stream. We have... Death, which was everything stopping. And we also have plot, which is where we are now. Because plot can encompass bloody anything. And given that this is like the big sort of ramp up to taking down the Zebus company, there's probably a lot going to happen in this, but am I going to draw it? I don't know. I haven't drawn since this morning. It'll be fine. Flo's just... Yeah, Flo is now just a regular frog. No longer the sassy frog that we have come to love. You've returned with food! Lovely. Right. So whether... I think there was a bit of a discussion as to whether or not the machine has just been activated in, like, the area of the protest, or whether the whole worldwide thing has happened yet. I feel like it probably makes more sense for us to see the betrayal of Poison Nurse, and then she activates the thing, and from the whole world goes. Take a look at the next symbol so we can work our way up to something. Can do. Let me try and do this in such a way that I don't spoil absolutely everything. The next symbol is a plot important boss encounter, which honestly feels like it fits. Can't say fairer than that. So 3 of the party members just reverted to pre-medic state. Yeah, we basically lost Gil, Brambles, Jethro, and I guess Onion, although he was optional, so it didn't make much of a difference. Who do we fight? I don't know. Let's stick it up on the thing. Doobity-doo, and go. Nope, go. There we go. Anywhere from 0 to 5 seconds it takes to update. Sometimes it's 0, and it's great. Other times it's 5 and it's not. Okay, so presumably this plot involves... Is the intent for a big happy ending when everyone comes back, or are they just gone now? I imagine we can probably get enough energy. This is how my rough, like, brain, story writing JRPG brain would immediately try and resolve this. Would be that the magic reverting and bringing everything in the world back to life, that's the end cutscene. But there will be a point prior to that where we can get enough energy to get our friends back for the big final fight. That's the kind of, you know, we can do a little local energy revivey thing before the end of the story, but the big return is, you know, maybe it's less of a thing that we see the betrayal, but we see the repercussions of it. We make our way up to Cat Pitilist, who is panicking and screaming at Poison Nurse, who is gone or leaving, and we have to fight an unhinged cat. That makes sense. I quite like that. I quite like the fact that Cat Pitilist, who's kind of like the sort of one of the behind-the-scenes villains who we haven't seen up until now properly, is going to go from we've just seen her to we fight her. Going from the sort of the competent Machiavellian face in the background to everything's gone wrong, fight her. It's been in the background for too long. Maybe she could have done something competent when she came out. You know, get there. If you come out of the shadows earlier in the story, maybe you can get more done. Or maybe not. I don't know. And all of these on so I can get a colour. Thank you very much. Have a slightly new setup as well, so this is going to be a bit weird. So, I don't know what to draw. Okay, so there's presumably like a whole section where we go up. I'm assuming that this is all taking place on the top of a big building. Right. That feels very, appropriate. So there'll be a big building that we work our way up. And there'll be lots of battles and lots of conversations, lots of people talking about stuff. It'll be a long sequence. And then right at the top we have the big boss of Capitalist, plus maybe some sort of robot armaments. But we have to work our way up to Captain Poison Nurse, and meanwhile, Bran and Grigori team are trying to fix things up themselves, and they keep doing things on accident to either help the party or set off alarms and such. Oh yeah, I forgot about the concurrent story with Bran and Grigori, because they've also lost half of their little team. I should have set up a thing where I could have like a sort of X over the the party members. Bit late now. Okay, so I never drew the city that we're in. I drew the second largest city in the world, but I didn't draw the biggest, the proper one, the city. It may just be called city. So yeah, we'll start with that. What is this? What is the building? We'll just do the building. What does the building look like? Big old. Is it like massive skyscraper? Are we doing, at the very least, some sort of symmetry? So big old thing. But we can make it more interesting than that. More interesting than a rectangle. Or maybe not. Maybe the fact that this is just like, brutalist, is reflective of the uncaring nature of the company. It's a big solid monolith. Monolith. You like just very corporate rectangle. Because capitalism makes things boring. Rectangles are known to be deeply uncaring. Oh, poor sad rectangle. You made a rectangle sad. I would like some more rectangles. All the rectangles. This is Zubaz. Or is this too interesting? You're laughing, imagining Bran and Grigori having to climb through the vents because all the doors are closed and require passwords and such, and Grigori keeps kicking Bran in the face on accident. I imagine Bran does the same. Okay, so I can't be bothered to do some stuff. So what I'm going to do is this. Actually, it makes more sense to do it like here. This. Get the idea, and now All the windows. Corporate rectangle. Also the building needs a boring corporate logo. Big Z. With a circle on. That makes it arty. That's kind of reminded me of Sprite. I don't know why. Probably 7-Up. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway. This is Zeba's corporate head HQ quarters. Incorporated. Limited. What do we learn from this stream? Rectangles are boring and circles are arty. Yes. Ah, yes, the catchy acronym of ZHUKHL. Remember, if you don't sound like you've got something stuck in your throat, you're saying it wrong. Rolls off the tongue. Remember to put it back in, though. It's probably important for the continued functioning of your voice. Cool. I've drawn a rectangle. So now, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how... We're going to work our way up the building. I'm sure we'll find interesting things in there. The perspective on those windows really didn't work, did it? But yeah, it's fine. Maybe there's more. I have no idea where the perspective on this thing's going. Like that, roughly. Immediately more imposing. Rectangles. So, what happens in working our way up the building? We have the duality of us and the goons, the semi-goons, the go, or the ons. Also working their way up. With interactions and shenanigans. What are we actually doing on the way up? Are we like fighting off workers? Are we... I don't know. Some sort of hired security? Are their robots still working? If there are any left, I guess most of them. Well, we had a thing earlier, didn't we, in a previous stream where we fought a robot. This one? Did we do that long ago? Yeah, we fought a robot and it was sort of like all chained up and sort of coerced into fighting for the company rather than against it. So I don't know, maybe we can do something like that. Trying to think, which is a bit of a problem. Today's not a thinky day. Yesterday was a thinky day, which is a shame. I didn't stream yesterday. Thinking's hard, yes. Creative thinking. It's a problem. Just looks at the title, title stream, and it needs more TMs. No, it's fine. There are more, but if you do a superscript of a superscript, it gets too small. All your thinking power today's gone into Phoebe's boobs. Yeah. All my thinking power's gone to, just disappeared. It just got absorbed by watching Call of Cthulhu. I'm trying to work out, is any of this entertaining? How little or much of this should go in a highlight reel? Because this is just bad. On the plus side, I do now have to draw a parsnip with like 100 marshmallows in its mouth. So what are you gonna do? Speaking of what you're gonna do, what are we gonna do? Let's just have people running upstairs as a representation of the fact that we're going up this building. More like this. You get the idea that these are stairs, it's fine. There's no lift or anything there, that was also protesting. Phoebe's books. What? You mentioned there's lots of puzzles, both on the goon side and the party side, but also we find lore on the corporation, like the company history and why they hide poison nurse. We're working on something to control the... that they hide poison nurse, we're working on something to control the robot uprising. Magic energy, some more shenanigans. Yes, Jibby did the shirt cut meme. It is in Discord. People star Discord. Surely these stairs will be a cutscene, right? Right? No. Also, a very annoying minigame which mimics the post office minigame where you control life to get something, but this time all the controls are inverted and sometimes life doesn't listen. It's an awful puzzle, but the developers kept it in for some reason. Oh, this entire section is also an escort quest. Emo, you're huge. No one has ever said that before. It was voted most awful game section of the year by Gamers TM. My favorite magazine. Oh, we were going to do a zine, weren't we? I forgot about that. Can't remember what it was. So there's that. There's also... Outliers. Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna do one before. Can't remember. Outliers zine. Return to Oz. OZ being the outliers, and I thought OZ stood for the outer zone. In that peculiar gritty reboot of The Wizard of Oz, the OZ. Was it called the OZ? No, I think it was called Tin Man. Or something like that. Tin Man was like a kind of RoboCop kind of soldier. Scarecrow was Alan Cummings. So that might get missed to watch it, at least. On the plus side, the Scarecrow was played by Alan Cummings. On the downside, Dorothy was played by Zooey Deschanel. So, what are you gonna do? The entire stairs section is a mini-game where you have to climb 75 floors worth of stairs, and also you play as Brad and have to balance everyone Brad is carrying. Yeah, it's like one of those games where it's like one of those where you're like balancing on a tightrope sort of games, and you gotta go left, oh no, you gotta go right, don't overcorrect like that, but for 75 floors, and if you fail any one of them, you start at the beginning.
Bins the game.
Look, I've been watching the Call of Cthulhu VODs, and I have a habit of I'm you know, all games end terribly now in my head. That's just how these things work. Since when's Brad had long sleeves on? Looking forward to the speedrun where the stream doesn't end until you finish the game. Well, I've gotten it down to just under an hour 40. So I might finish early, who knows? I prepare for these things. However, it is. I want to call it a. I've been Yes. Where am I? Hang on. Where are my splits? Am I okay? Yes. Okay, my splits. Yeah, 139.53 was my last. Look, there's a reason I'm doing a speedrun, and that's because the speedrun of this game destroys the game. So that is quite pleasing. The only problem is the things that you have to do to destroy it also might destroy you. So it's a mutually assured destruction speedrun. Do you need help? I want to get it right. I wanted to make sure I could do it in a stream. And my first run was just over 2 hours. My last one was just over an hour, or just under an hour 40. So it should be okay. Got a little bit more time to watch meme cutscenes. Who else is still conscious? And the answer to who hurt me, it's very simple. The developers of Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. They hurt.
I'm gonna fucking die here, Chris.
That is one of the tragedies of the speedrunners. We missed that we missed that bit. We will not hear that dialogue. Although I might set up a thing where people can trigger it through chat. I have the audio file. Yes, Peridot is almost certainly trying to drag a buffalo upstairs. This is a button mashing strength minigame. The stairs are not to scale. Can Buffalo climb upstairs? We'll find out. Together. When they eventually get the consciousness back, Peridot's not going to let Buffy get away with being lazy anymore. So I had to pull you up 75 flights of stairs. The entire stairs section is filled with horrible minigames. And it is the one part of the speedrun that people have not yet been able to skip. It lasts for 10 hours. Then again, maybe they'd be more likely to find a skip if more than one person ran it. I'm creating a mythology of this game that there will be people who want to speedrun it. There are people who want to speed Call of Cthulhu, so... now I've got to draw a buffalo. Being pulled up the stairs. How do you do? I don't know how to draw a buffalo, full stop. slightly bending the rails here. This was not built up to Buffalo code. I don't know how this is. Is there like a rope around the thing, maybe? Kind of looks like a pantomime horse. If you find a secret power source by beating the optional boss at a specific time IRL and a certain time and only on the first try, you can skip the stairs. However, that takes longer than the stairs. It has 12 million health. I actually lowballed that, really, didn't I? Final Fantasy games, there's like 100 million or... Stupid. You feel when working around tight junctions in the car this morning, yeah. Forever waiting for the curb to thump into the wheels. Sorry, I just got distracted by Miss sending me terrible jokes. It has 12 billion health and the party is not optimized for fighting. Yeah. I mean, what characters have we lost? We've lost Gil, we've lost Bramble, we've lost Jethro, and we've lost Onion. Maybe the boss is designed so that they're really good against it and everyone else is terrible. It's awful and it's great. How dare you? How dare you? I found a file full of a bunch of my old jokes recently, and they're awful. Also, everyone's far too big. The perspective on this is way off. Don't worry about it. Who else have we got? We have the Brambles carried. We've got Stoker. Stoker can bring Jethro along. It's a boss only Bramble can beat, but it's only available after Bramble already got foomed. I like that we're going with foomed as the word. I'm trying to think if any might. I remember reading like a list of like 100 jokes that I wrote ages ago, and I think at least one of them made me laugh. But I'm trying to cannot for the life of me remember any of them. Feel free to post bad jokes in chat. Jokes on me for forgetting them. No, just. I mean, it's a blessing for you, is what it is. Yeah. Branag! That's bang out of order. There we are. Tim Vine's good. Everyone watch Tim Vine. Jethro's just kind of like a bundle of sticks at this point. He's got like his coat or whatever. It's mostly sticks. Well, once the magic comes back, he'll reassemble himself. He's done it enough times. Gotten into all sorts of scrapes and shenanigans. No smiley for Colin, which is the only reason people believe Colin was a real familiar. Nobody believed it until the smile disappeared. Then I'm like, oh. Oh, it was actually. What's the difference between a scarecrow and a bundle of sticks? How much time Chris puts into drawing it? Yeah. Rip it. Onion? Not sure what's going on with Onion. Maybe it's on like put up a pack on Gregori's having a swell time with all his friends being incapacitated, I can tell you. Just great! Oh, I remembered one. It was also bad. What was it? I'm sure Rorschach. I'm sure Rorschach's parents were really proud of him. But quite frankly, I don't know what they saw in him. Terrible jokes. Also requires you to understand who Rorschach is. Gonna look, you've had an day. Oh no! Well, I hope we can put a nice end to the day. Here is a bundle of misfits climbing up some stairs.
I'm banning you.
You're welcome. All love. No. 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 There we go. Cool. So I didn't even bother doing anything up here. Anyway. when I was sketching out Gregory for the for next month's thing, I did the sketch and I'm like, I like how he fits in this style, and it's all good, but there's something about it that just doesn't look like Gregory. It's like, what is it? What is it that trying to make Gregory look like Gregory? And it took me ages to realize I just forgot he had a mustache. So goes to show how much attention I pay to these things. Why are the goons crawling through the vents with a perfectly fine set of stairs? Don't ask. They do what they do. They're probably more used to breaking into this building than they are going the proper way. Never shave more or look like 99% of people you drop. No. Shaving off a moustache does not automatically make you look like a tiefling. Don't know. I mean, I trimmed my beard today. Maybe I am looking slightly more demonic. I don't know how they're climbing exactly. Shave him and oops, it's suddenly purple with no visible pupils and 2 horns. Do you honestly think Gregory would put him in his pocket the right way up? Hey, to take them with us. I claim the candle. First of all, their name is Wick. Second of all, hey. Quad knocks. Don't forget the quad knocks. Never draw Bran. Doesn't look like Bran if she doesn't have a condescending, or they don't have a condescending look on their face. Are you having fun in the chat? Well, not condescending, but like, done with it. Look. This looks nothing like Bran. Right. Quite how they're getting Rob up, I don't know. I kind of committed myself to doing this, haven't I? But hey, here we are. I've forgotten. It's amazing how you forget how to draw a character when you draw them upside down. You get the idea. There's a Kira. Kira's still there. Yeah. Hope you're having a good grocery shop. Bran is very strong to be lifting up Gabe. She got a good arm. They got a good arm. She they. I'm bad at remembering the pronouns of characters I draw at best once every 3 weeks. Bran's leaving holes in the vents whenever she's holding on for dear life for her mech arm. Yeah. Anyway, this is happening. I guess at some point I have to draw something actually happening. This is the event. Did you get good food? Did you eat good food, Beth? Coffee. That's not food. I guess you could eat it. Probably not advisable. Right. And bread and butter and chicken. Chicken sandwich. Nice. And coffee. So now what? I've drawn a rectangle and stairs. I like this roleplay that's happening in chat. Who would have thought this would be an RPG? Now draw a bike. No. Okay, so. What a yellow. So at the top of this, presumably, is a boss. What did we say was going to happen? You don't know what's happening, you're in here for nonsense. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry, if you look at this, there's not a lot of game left, so... Soon, things will begin that you can understand, because you don't have to have 24 streams worth of prior knowledge. You need 2 entire days to be able to catch up. Yeah, so I think we decided that at the top of this, we've got a plot important boss at the top of this thing. And the assumption is that that plot important boss revolves around Cat-ling in some fashion. Just living for Bran and Kogori's dynamic. It's just fun. It's always good to have a fun character dynamic. And this is the big tragedy, or one of the big tragedies of 16 Symbols, is that we just don't have time to flesh out characters. Oh, I put Discord onto the wrong Discord. And as a consequence was shown a video of somebody making it look like a centaur was riding a bike. And no, I'm not drawing that. I put this Discord on the wrong Discord. I usually have stream shenanigans up. But because Miss distracted me with bad jokes, I put it back on the Patreon Discord. And saw the centaur thing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Boss at the top. I imagine this is something to do with Cat Pit List. Are we doing a thing? Like I say, we have a plot symbol. This is probably the longest plot symbol in the game so far. Oh, I should say, I always keep forgetting to do this. I know you all know, but I feel like it's the very least I can do. Just a reminder that the background music that we have is courtesy of Adrian von Ziegler, whose music is always lovely. And it's always nice to give a shout out to people who let you use their music for free in whatever you want, as long as it's not commercially viable. So thank you, Adrian. Right. What are we doing? Thank you. Everybody say thank you, Adrian. Otherwise I'm stopping the music and putting on a 2-hour loop of Hoover from Call of Cthulhu. Hurry up! Fight unhinged cat. Yeah. So the yeah. What I was gonna say is we've got the boss fight at the top, which is something to do with cat, unhinged cat, which on its own sounds like a fun thing to draw, but cat's a person, so what's happened to cause the unhinging? Like we had a vague idea of like, this is where the betrayal happens, or so on and so forth. What's happened? To what extent is everything going wrong? Have things? Does Capitalist have? Oh no, we did decide Capitalist did had a familiar, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, we talked about this last week, and my brain has just like, right click, empty recycle bin. You can't remember either. I was trying to think maybe it revolves around that, like, if the machine has been set off proper, then familiar's also gone, and that's struck an emotion. I like trying to impart some sort of emotion onto our character because, I'm a very emotional sort of person. But I understand that humans like to put emotions in stories, so. Right, hang on. Let's. Ragdoll said a thing, right? Let's go back and have a look at that because I can't remember precisely what it was. The end of the first mystical symbols, the machine being turned on, some robot rebellers in the company, and then the party gets the MacGuffin as the floppy disk, and the team starts to storm the company HQ to turn off the machine, and that's when the poison nurse turns on the machine, and we get the wider death. That are the three symbols. To find a cat and poison nurse with the machine. Then poison nurse turns up the machine to 11 for a massive worldwide, or at least widespread instead of targeted magic drain, and then things get weird. Yeah, so that would be fun. Like she was expecting it just to destroy the robot uprising, then a familiar's gone and it destroys her. Could do. Just gotta remember what the thing is. Did I draw the familiar? If not, we talked about it, but if I didn't draw it, yeah, I haven't drawn anything. So it could be anything. A whale. An actual cat. Pitbull. I can't think of anything beginning with ist. Okay, so do we see... We did talk about this earlier. Do we see the event happening where everything, like... Because we talked about the idea that maybe it was just, like... First burst, we lost Gil, Buffy, Flo, Bramble. That was a targeted one, either from the machine here targeted to the lab, or there was, like, a prototype in the lab and Poison Nurse set that off on a timer or something. Then we go to the city, and there's another wave. Was that the big one, or was that just like, oh, this will get rid of the robots? Everything's going well. And then when we get to the top, Poison Nurse, flips on the machine and vroom, does the big one. And do we see that, or do we get there after that's happened? Well, maybe the player can see it, but the characters don't. I don't know. What value does that hold? What Socratic irony can we squeeze from this? Also, I don't know how to draw capitalist. at all, so drawing her unhinged is not gonna... It bodes poorly, that's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna import that. Did that, and then angry. I like the second one being the big one, and we get to see the result of the betrayal, but not the betrayal itself. But you leave it up to the others. I mean, the two people who have like the most like enthusiastic input into this story are you and Ragdoll. Ragdoll's not here, so as Miss says, Miss is just here for the chaos. Kira might also be here for the chaos. Dark is just annoyed that we still haven't gone to Lava City. Sorry, Magma City. You found it! What? Angry Bean. You love a city as well. At least you think so. So far. Dark joked about Cat's familiar being a piggy called Bank. There we are. Thank you for searching the archives. Chaos is fun. Try it, kids. Little piggy. Okay. I have a funny image in my head. Let's see if I can do it justice. And I'm gonna do this. Still don't know how to draw Cuphead. Sorry, Oobs, I've taken your cool, suave, evil villain and turned her into this. Oh no, there's a zip at the back, not the front. So, them world events, eh? Cool. Can't believe they sent Mr. Blobby to the moon. I would have thought life in prison would have been enough, but no. It's a JRPG, the dress should be made of zips. There's like this image of you walking into a room and this woman's just going berserk and there's just a little pig snuffling around on the floor. Having a snuffle. Of course, the reason she's going berserk is because it's now just a pig. You were learning about the destruction of Pompeii through puppet history earlier. Turns out, old Pliny, bit of a silly sausage. We look at Pliny the Elder. Only 70% of the population of Pompeii were killed, which doesn't sound like nearly enough. What? Are you disappointed? Only 17%. I had my money on way more than that. A lot of people left Pompeii before the disaster because of the earthquakes that preceded it, just in case. Peter Capaldi survived. You found out a neat trick for Phoenix Point. If you take your weapon from a soldier who's not had max ammo, you get full mag and not a depleted one for a bit of free reload. Nice! Oversights in programming. Fantastic. That's the way it's spoken about. It sounds like the entire population died, but it was only 17%. You give up on words today. I understood what you meant. What you meant were that you were a heartless and callous person who really were looking forward to thousands of people dying many years ago. In case I play anytime soon. One day when I actually don't have a backlog of 700 other games that I want to play on stream.
Yes.
Yes. Matches. Thing is tiny. This is a sort of loaf. You've been to Pompeii. You didn't see much of it because of the walls of people. No, that's Yahal Ghul. You went to Yahal Ghul. Which I still think should be the name of a pirate in your RPG. Yahal Ghul. Oh, I've got the wrong thing open again. Oh! Pig, squimch pig. This is very cute, look at him. Unless, of course, you can't look at him, in which case, don't. For the love of Dawkins, don't. Cool. Okay, so this is happening. Just having a snuffle. Don't you dare. If you have no means with which to look at this pig, and you look at it, there will be repercussion. By which I mean a skeleton will play drums. And that banks a little bow. Yeah. I was trying to think, like, you know, would you give it, like, more clothes? Like, make a little sweater for it or something. But I thought, it's fine. By make, I mean buy. Yeah, don't let Oobs see this. Just everything about it. It's just like, no. The anatomy, the off-character model, the off-expected actions. It's all wrong. The version of this character I'm drawing for next month should be a lot better. It interests bank up for more press conferences. Bank up more for press conferences. Yeah. So screenshot. No! I'm banning Miss. I'm gonna take your sword away. Okay, and presumably this then leads into the boss fight. What is the boss fight? How does it take form? Does Capitalist have anything other than herself with which to attack? Shocked Pikachu first. Wick. Wickachu. Probably mech stuff, yes. So it would have to be, like, generally mechanic rather than robotic, presumably. Because I'm going to draw a horse, it'll summon Oobs. Do you know what I like? One of my favourite thing in the world is Stephen Moffat. It's a faint scream coming from the direction of Belgium. Okay, so Boss fight. We may only get one symbol done today. I guess we didn't do plot last time, we do plot this time. But slow day. It's one of those days, you know? I'm thinking asymmetry and I'm thinking big old gun arm. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Anything thematic? Anything thematically appropriate? Cannon, money cannon. Moffat, Hannibal horse. Someone who so things don't get worse. It almost rhymed. It rhymed as in like spelling. It spell rhymed. Or as we like to call it, sprimed. Moffat, Hannibal horse. We summon noobs so things don't get worse. Or horse is pronounced hearse. That's a different thing. You have to head off. Have fun with the nonsense. Grigori thanks Brand's face again for being a good stepladder. And I thank you for having silly shenanigans. Hope you enjoy whatever it is you're going to do. Have a lovely evening. Okay, let's do some thumbnails. If I can't think of anything off the top of my head, let's just do some thumbnails. So what I'm thinking is, sort of almost mimicking Viv's thing, right? Is she's still doing a sort of lean thing. Like that, right? Maybe with one leg out this time. And she got like this arm coming out here with a gun on it, but the gun is just like big old thing. These are all like barrels or something, and then there's pipes. It's one of the founding principles of bosses in this game is that they have no business being as big as they are. Usually that means it's just a big creature. This time it's just, hey, you got a gun. You call that a gun? This is a gun. Something like that, but just more interesting. More weird shapes that don't quite make sense. Trying to make that not look like fur. Like a kind of exoskeleton sort of harness thing so that it balances properly. Takes a lot of upper body strength to carry something like this. That's not how faces work, is it? So what's everyone got planned for the week? Because I don't seem to be able to do anything worth talking about. So that is amazing shush. Oh, I see. The one thing I do decide to talk about, and you tell me to shush. Well, I won't speak at all then. Nah, that's boring. You don't really have any plans for the week. Drawing, probably. Cool. You can talk about it if you compliment yourself. Well, back to being silent. This button has this hand has the controller for it as well. But eventually, presumably, either we... I'm assuming we don't just outright kill her here. My assumption is that maybe we can, you know, convince her that, hey, you've been screwed over. Let's get revenge together. On the condition that you dismantle your entire corporate empire. Trying to get more October drawings done. Ooh. You finally tackled Bear. You've been putting that off for a while. I had a crack at that this morning on mine. So it's tricky. Tricky. Burns getting Valheim set up for more RPG stuff. Oh, and more RPG stuff. Spent 3 to 4 hours on an encounter that may take half the time. I mean, that's just game development, isn't it? I spent 20 hours on this thing. It took people 20 seconds to play it. No. There's the severe lack of pre-made Fallout-style maps to use. Well, what you got to do is you got to try and find a way of very quickly converting between pre-made maps and pre-made Fallout maps. Create a random map generator. Oh yeah, I was going to have a little experiment in Unity with playing Kato. And it's got this sort of nice little map puzzle thing going on. And I was going to have a little experiment with sort of the idea of map puzzles implementing something like that in Unity, because it seems quite simple. But you could do a lot with it. Yeah, fun little project here and there, in amongst the 787,000 other projects I'm doing. Always make sure you get the right joints for your massive arm gun. Otherwise the plumbing just won't work. Cool, I remember one person came in, tried to get an new joints for their arm gun, and half of them were in Imperial, half of them were in metric. It was a mess. The right mess. People these days don't know how to assemble a giant arm gun. You know what I always say, you know, don't mind people having a go at it. After all, everyone can make mistakes. No arm gun. Eh. No, I don't know what's going on, if you wanted to know. In case you were wondering, what precisely is happening here? Me neither. Conic sections. Imagine not knowing how to assemble an arm gun. I know. Like there was the great, you know, YouTube arm gun tutorial boom. Surely everyone should know by now. Can I be bothered to add more detail to this? That's the question. If you don't know how to assemble an arm gun by now, what? Are you even paying attention? Were you even on the internet in 2021? Shameful. This feels like a piece of like fake stand-up comedy they'd have in the background of Cyberpunk. What's the deal with these people who don't know how to assemble their own arm gun? The joke is that there's any real content in Cyberpunk. Oh, humor. Satire. The joke is that they made a game that is based on a source material that's all about the oppression of people through systematic oppressive corporate overlords, and the game itself was destroyed by corporate decisions. It's a living satire. It's funny. Question. Here's something that can be talked about. I did a thing recently where I did a meme, an online meme, which was, hey, fill in your games in this thing, where you say your favorite game and the game that has the best soundtrack and all that sort of stuff. And I did some doodles for it. But there was one on there which was quite interesting, which is a game that you love, but everyone else hates. And usually whenever you hear like a controversial gaming opinion, it's usually the other way around. Everyone loves this game and I hate it. And it was quite difficult to think of one that was the other way around. That was like, oh, I love this, but no one else does. Do any of you guys have something like that? Like, you can say a game is underrated, but the idea of a game that is just sort of, you know, largely disliked, but you really like it. Because the best I got for that was Dark Souls 2. Because Dark Souls 2 gets a lot of hate. But not being as good as Dark Souls 1. And also not being the game that was advertised, because it was released about a year before it should have been. But at the same time, good game. It's a very good game. It's just not amazing, which is what people hoped it would be, and what its predecessor was. You don't think you have a game like that? It was interesting. Because I've got several games that I don't like, but that are critically acclaimed, you know. Just interesting to try and find something the other way around. And it was first a remake of Demon's Souls that they changed their mind on. Oh, right, Dark Souls 2. I knew it was going to be something very different. You know, there was going to be a lot more sort of characters and story, and you know, more of an RPG. And then a year before release, they fired the director and went, "We need to make a game out of the bits we've got." But yeah, and there's like, you know, there's plenty of examples of games where I'm like, you know, the one that really stood out to me was Shovel Knight. I had people sort of extolling how utterly amazing Shovel Knight was, and I was like, cool, I like platformers, I'll give it a go. And I got to the I played it all the way through, got to the end credits, and I remember thinking the words, oh, I was waiting for the good bit. Which is, in retrospect, quite harsh. Not sure if Trails of Cold Steel counts, because a lot of people do like it, but it's many more, a very good group, hate it. Very vocal group, sorry. Also Tales of Legendia, and you sure there are more? Try to find enjoyment in lots of games. Yeah. Like games are designed to be enjoyed. If they're not, then you're doing something wrong. If you're not designing your game to be enjoyed, you know, you're probably not a game creator. You're either an artist or a businessman. I don't even know what's happening with half these things at this point. I just realised that there's basically not a lot else to do other than to keep drawing this until the end of the stream, because I haven't got any other ideas for things to happen. This is where, like, the shell casings will come out of. Maybe reveal the next symbol so we can have a think. That is a good idea. It's the next and last symbol of this row. Last thing that's happening in this location. Death. It is. Oh, Mystical Mumbo Jumbo. Of course it is. That makes too much sense. I guess Poison Nurse is going to do some shenanigans. Probably involving a shrimp god. Oh, you mean Dark Souls 1? They share a lot of animations and stuff, but Demon's Souls only visuals were different to start with. I mean, that makes sense, because, you know, to all intents and purposes, it is Demon's Souls 2, but they wanted an IP that they could release on other platforms, because Sony owns part of Demon's Souls. In the same way they own part of Bloodborne. Flips table. So if you could just think about some Mystical Mumbo Jumbo, that'd be fine. Yeah, I was going to say I'd never heard of Dark Souls 2 being a Demon's Souls thing. Turns out that's not what you were talking about, so we're all good. Dark Souls was also released early. Looks at the whole demon section. Yeah. Well, it was less that it was released early and probably more that it could have done with a bit more polish. You know, Dark Souls 2 is generally unfinished. Dark Souls 1 has unfinished bits. Which, you know, basically, I think Miyazaki said that, like, oh, I gave Izalith to a game designer who didn't have much experience, and I probably should have paid a bit more attention to what they were making. And these things happen, you know. There's always going to be problems. Game's always going to have imperfections. It's the overall feel that's important. And the overall feel of Dark Souls 2 is this could be better. It's a shame, but we got a good game, so I'm not complaining. Here's an unnecessarily large hand cannon. It's meant to have like a ceiling and all sorts of other stuff which they scrapped. Ceiling? I mean, there's the dome, which you walk through, but are you supposed to walk on that? Anyway, stuff. That perspective on those bullets makes no sense. They're being fired backwards. It's fine. That'll be the end of the stream, I think, because I don't have energy. Do you? Don't know. Zully the Witch did a video on it. You think? Cool. I'll have to have a look back. Zully's videos are all good. Do like. I did a video recently on Sekiro. There's a mini boss called the Shichiman Warrior. And in the thumbnail, I was like, how many faces does it have? And I'm like, I reckon I can work this out. Because Shichi, I think, is 7 in Japanese. I'm like, 7 faces. And then you look at the video, it's just got loads. It's got like 30. Like, oh, I thought I was being clever. End of stream. I have dropped 69 frames. Thank you, Frame Man. Thank you for coming along. Sorry this was a bit pedestrian today. We didn't get through an awful lot. Jade Cocoon 2. That is a game you loved and everyone else hated. Also Jade Cocoon 1 to a lesser extent. Yeah. I've heard of Jade Cocoon. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Oh, looks nice. Oh. Look at that friend. Hang on. Look at that friend. How can anyone hate this game? Nice, things take a bit longer now that we're starting to have to wrap things up. I would have thought things would have accelerated because we're like, okay, we know where this is going. Perhaps that's the problem. We know where it's going, and then the symbols go, nope. You can never beat it. The difficulty curve was back in the let's get the most out of games period. It's called the Forgotten Ghibli JRPG. Well, you say that now that Miss isn't here. I've had Chrono Trigger installed on my computer for about 4 months. And I played it once and just keep forgetting to play it. I don't have time for RPGs anymore. A good friend. I always wanted to play Dark Cloud. My friend had it. And I was like, oh, this looks like a cool game. He didn't let me play it for a bit. And then never played it again. It's like, oh, it seemed interesting. I just want to get like every PlayStation 1 game. That's I want to play through all the original Resident Evils and Silent Hills. There was a game I found recently called Martian Gothic Reunification, which came out right at the end of the PlayStation 1's lifespan. And it's like this sort of Resident Evil-y style puzzle game where you control 3 people on a Martian base, but they're all separated, so they have to interact with each other and have separate inventories, but they're in different parts of the base, and it's all just seems weird. I like it. I like weird stuff. You'd have to play it again, but finding it is difficult. Yes. Such is the nature of these things. Yeah. Thank you for coming along. Like I say, apologies for the slightly slow nature of the stream. It'd be nice to get this done by 30 streams, but we'll see. I don't know how many streams we're going to have piecing the whole thing together afterwards. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Carto. Swoosh, there it is. Fun little map game. Hopefully there aren't quite so many Franco-Germanic hoteliers, because there's only so many voices I can do that are supposed to be Germanish. Another game you played but no one seems to know about is Kudelka. Okay. Made by a former employee of Square. Was the foundation for the Shadow Hearts series. These are words I do not know. Cool though. Cool. Yeah, we just had a kind of variety of stuff. The only RPGs I had, I think, were Final Fantasy 7 through 9. And then they re-released 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 on the PS1. I didn't play 3 until like a couple of years ago. I need to stop talking now. Thank you very much for coming along. Have a lovely time. Hope you enjoy the remainder of your week. Like I say, I'll be back with Carto tomorrow and Saturday. Actually, will I be there Saturday? Yes, I will. It's next Saturday. This RP stuff. Okay. Yeah. Have a lovely time, everyone. Thank you very much. You have a good evening, and then have a good sleep, and then have a good day afterwards. Because I'm not going to give you a choice. You have to have one. It has to be good. Otherwise, I'm going to come and kick the day in the shins. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.